Hello, my fellow human. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining us. I would like to say that your time, your energy, and your presence are a true gift and a blessing, and I'm so honored to be here sharing this human experience with you. And I do things differently here on this channel, so there may be triggering statements that arise on the readings themselves, and there's no obligation to force them to fit, while keeping in mind that triggers can be a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journeys. With that being said, I'm going to be doing something different today, but I was getting this message, and this is an urgent answers from your spirit guides. And this could be in regards to a situation you're currently going through, something you're struggling with, something that is just about to arise or has passed. Whatever answers you're looking for, this should help give you that guidance or that confirmation to your intuition. And I'm actually choosing a tarot deck today, but I will do a collective message. If you hang out with me after the prayer, it will be there for you to check out. So let's go ahead and get this started, and we'll get on our way. All right, thank you everybody. As I keep making these changes to the channel, I know it's not really settled down quite yet, and that's just to be expected, considering I'm letting go of that certain type of reading that I was doing before. Now there's going to be all different kinds of topics and more focused and centered on who I am as a reader. And that's what I want to offer you. So thank you for those of you that continue to support and be a part of this amazing tribe. I'm truly honored to have you here. My beloved source, this prayer is for any and all who come onto this reading today, whether it's for the entire time or for a moment's time. Today I ask that you help bring the answers of clarity for them that they need. And if it's not through this reading, then may it be in their day-to-day, through synchronicities that arise, through intuitive downloads, through little spiritual nudges, the little winks that you give us through coincidences, synchronicities, serendipitous moments, whatever one might call them. Reminding us that you have a plan. You have a much bigger plan, and that sometimes we're looking for immediate relief, but it's not about the immediate relief. It's about the big picture. And we are so focused on the here and the now. We have a very small set of blinders on because that's just how we've been brought up, or that's how society has created us. And today I ask that you help us let go. Let go of control, let go of the need to know every little step of the way, and trust that you have much more inviting, promising, beautiful blessings for us along the journey. Sometimes we struggle with trusting this. Sometimes we struggle with having faith in this. But today I ask that you reach out and hold each one of our hands and guide us through this next chapter in our lives, no matter how big or how small it may be. We're asking to lean on you. It's what you asked us to do, that you'll always show up if we ask you to. So we're asking now. Show up for us, and we'll lean on you, and we'll trust. But fill us with this trust, and show us we can have this faith. And it may not be in the ways that we imagined or the ways that we want, but make the synchronicities glaringly clear. As these words are spoken upon this tribe, onto this reading today, so shall they be. Amen, aho, ase. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my beloved source, thank you. Yeah, I definitely feel like... Hold on. Okay, so we're going to get an archetype, and I'm going to be using these on your readings as well. I'm going to read these from the book, but we're just going to get one for a collective message today. And if you're wondering, these are the Jungian Archetype Oracle by Giacomo Guccinelli, I think. I'm not sure how you say that, but there you go. These cards, the art is very unique. It's very beautiful. It's very deep. There's a lot to these cards, and I really love them. I don't bring them out. In fact, I don't know if I brought these out before, maybe one time before, I don't bring them out often, but I was really called to using these today. But I really feel like energetically, everybody's been going through a really rough time. Like there's a lot of struggles, whether that's personal, career, family, just in general, maybe with health. It could be anything in your life, but there's like this really deep struggle that's happening right now. And there's this exasperation that I keep feeling because, and I had mentioned this on a reading that I did earlier this week, but it feels like it's like everybody promised that this was going to be our year, right? 2026 is going to be the year. And we're all waiting with bated breath for when that this is our moment is arising. And I feel like that is the trap, right? Like that is the trap. Like when everyone's like promising that this is going to be your year. Part of this journey is us finding the courage to make opportunities, to take opportunities, and to be present with certain opportunities while also not falling into the trap that, you know, like even as a tarot card reader, like what everything that I say is going to come to fruition, because most of the time energy is fluid. And I'm not saying not to trust what you're receiving from source or anything like that. But what I'm saying is that remember that our energy can change at a moment's notice. Point example, right? Right before I came onto this reading, I'd taken a nap. And when I woke up from my nap, I just was like a lot of all these emotions had just all of a sudden overtook me. And I was like, what the heck is going on? Like, what am I feeling? And so I did my own reading before I even got onto your guys' reading. I was like, I need to figure out what's going on. I need to figure out what I'm going through. And I realized that like I'm in a period of tough love right now. And it has to do with emotions. And I'm facing something that I'm grieving. I'm just not ready to talk about what it is I'm going through just yet. I'm sure one day I will. But right now, what I'm currently facing, I'm just not ready to talk about it. But emotionally, it's something super challenging. Okay, like it's just something that like I'm realizing there's only one other person who knows about what I'm going through right now. And, you know, it's incredibly challenging for me. But I think what the hardest thing is realizing that it's not even my present moment that is all of these emotions are coming from. It's actually my wounded inner child where all of these emotions are coming from. Emotions that I had grown accustomed to shoving away and not facing. And so they come up in very, you could call them inopportune times, but I feel like they come up when I'm at peace and when I'm quiet and when I'm still. And that's why they came rushing when I had gotten done taking a nap, and then understanding the energy that came through when I did the reading for myself and realized that, I mean, I did these emotions cards, the Prism Oracle, and I got anxiety, sadness, and pain. And so, you know, it's just, and rejection came out, and I was like, wow, these are all really synchronistic to how I've been feeling. And it was like nice. I think that's the thing. It was really nice to give those emotions a label instead of just saying it's really hard. It's realizing like I'm going through a period of rejection, or I'm going through a period of sadness, or I'm going through a period of anxiety, or I'm going through a period of brooding, or I'm going through a period of indignation, right? Like, and I've had all of these emotions come up that I've been able to give a name to. And before it was just like, oh, I just don't want to feel those negative emotions, right? And I feel like that's something that the collective is also going through too. I realize that what I'm experiencing versus what the collective experience is experiencing aren't that different. Right? Like we're all going through a lot of similar issues and a lot of similar situations. And even if they're not exactly the same, some of the emotions that we're feeling at any one given time is something that a lot of other people are feeling at that time too. And while that can be helpful to remind ourselves that we're not alone, it can also be frustrating because a part of our emotional ego wants to separate us and wants us to be alone. It's something to do with I'm special and I have a right to stand out and I have a right to ostracize myself for standing out and being alone. And, you know, but we more than anything want to be seen, you know, understood and heard. And right now I'm having to choose to do that for myself, which I talk about all the time. And I do choose that most of the time, but I've been struggling for the last few months in choosing myself. Like, honestly, I've just been struggling because I have reached my wit's end, the exasperated feeling. And I feel like that's something that's really coming up for the collective, is this exasperated feeling. Like, I'm just at my wit's end. Like, what's the point of continuing with this journey? What's the point of putting in the hard work? What's the point if all I'm doing is seeing repeat cycles and nothing is changing for us? And I feel like we're on this precipice as a collective where we're about to tip over into a new beginning, or maybe a new energetic cycle or something along those lines, where we're now letting go of things that we didn't know we were trying to let go of before, because we're coming face to face with those. And that's what I'm feeling energetically with the collective. But let's get an archetype out for you and find out what the collective energy is right now. What's an archetype for the collective energy right now, Source? Okay, this one wants to come out. Yeah, look. Okay, so before we even go, on the bottom we have the Creator. And I'm not going to read this one because I just want to say, like, I feel like this is just saying, like, Source is coming in, like, yes, this is a direct message from me in regards to the situation that you're going through collectively. I'm here to give you that assistance. So let's take a look at this. I'm going to read this one from the book. We're going to see what it is. Oh my gosh. So I can't make this up. This is the card that came out for me in my own reading. And that's weird. The Creator did not. I had a different energy on the bottom. It actually changed the whole of the energy with this card in general. And so I feel like this is really interesting, the androgynous. But this card, I'm going to talk about it real quick before I read what it says from the book, if you want to see what the card looks like. This is like blending of the masculine and the feminine and the masculine, right? There's always some masculine in the feminine, and there's always some feminine in the masculine. But it's also talking about where change is fluid, and change is the only constant that we go through. And I feel like that's really synchronistic to what I was feeling earlier, when it's like we're all on the precipice. We're like basically walking on the sword's edge, right? About to tip over into some new beginning. And that's basically what this card talks about. So I'm going to read this deeper. This card, it's really, well, let me just read it and you can make of it what you will from it. But these cards are really interesting, and they're really deep. Like, energetically, they're really deep. And isn't that funny? We've got the number 22, and Creator card is number 23. So this card says, the sages tell us that the beginning of things, before a deity brought order to the confused origin of creation, high and low, wet and dry, cold and heat, justice and iniquity, lived in the same body. So the androgynous and his perfect nature realizes in the world the coincidence of opposites. Rich and multiform Dionysus, I think that's Dionysus, seer and wise Tiresias, I'm not sure I'm saying these right, but before the sacred and circular serpents, golden globe of kings and queens, celestial and chthonic Lucifer together, who brings light, the androgynous traverses with liquid phantom nature, rites, ceremonies, and festivals, for which the world is reflected and rotates. Animus, feminine in the masculine, and at the same time masculine in the feminine. Dual self-selfed, that the alchemist reduces with skillful effort to the unity of the one, is the creature that breaks through the binary and opposing veil of appearance. Forgetful of the law of the dark father, by its power it breaks the fluid soul and that dissolves and recomposes the motionless judgment, the self-generating tradition, the still time that blocks the circular plots of life. Change and fluidity define life. And I can't make this up. It's also on page 33, which is really telling me. I feel like this is really, really synchronistic to what I was saying earlier, right? It's like seeing that where was it? The opposing veil of appearance, right? And then the unity of one. It's like coming back into that place of realizing like we can isolate ourselves from what we're going through, but we're never alone, right? There's so many other people that are experiencing it, but sometimes we forget that the collective energy is oftentimes powerfully enfolded in ours, right? The outer world is a reflection of our inner world. And it's so easy to forget this because we get so attached to what the outer world brings. And I'm just as guilty of this as well. So please know you're not alone on this journey. But that when we let go and we allow the change to happen, and sometimes what I'm getting is like a house of God moment, or what you might know as the tower, is letting things truly just fall apart so that they can fall back into place. Instead of trying to hold on so desperately for things, or even trying to force control or change into a situation, which we are known to do because it's very human of us to do so, is letting go and allowing the change to come, right? And that song is coming through. Oh, a change is gonna come. And I don't remember who sings that, but I remember talking about it not that long ago. It's a Beth Hart song, the one that I like. So let me look at the creator really quick, and let's just see what the one line for the creator is. It says, every creative act combines experience, innocence, and wonder. And I really feel like the creator also is just pointing to, reminding us to draw back from giving our energy to the things that are making us feel confused or overwhelmed or hurt or in a state of suffering or whatever it may be, that are not in alignment with our highest good, and to focus on the things that we can create. Because sometimes, as hard as this is, putting on a pair of headphones and just zoning out and doing what you feel is best for yourself in that moment can be so healing. And I know that from personal experience as well. All right, so let me give these a quick shuffle. So we'll put them over there. These cards are rather, they tap into the darkness, the shadow, right? And everybody fears the shadow, but we shouldn't fear the shadow. The shadow helps us heal. Okay, so with that, I didn't have the dice today. This is how I set it up, so we'll see what comes. But for pile 1, we have this blue appetite for you to choose from. And this is the Tarot Marseille, my small deck. In pile 2, we have this green aventurine for you to choose from. And this is the Nicoletta Ciccoli. Yeah, Nicoletta Ciccoli Tarot. In pile 3, we have this piece of black obsidian for you to choose from. And this is the Wild Unknown Tarot. So we pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3, and whichever pile you feel called to, that should be the one for you, and I will see you over there. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this blue appetite, or perhaps you felt called to this deck, which is the Tarot Marseille, this is going to be your reading on urgent answers from your spirit guides. So if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. If you're new here, thanks so much for joining us. Your time, your energy, and your presence are a true gift and a blessing, and I'm deeply honored to be here sharing them with you today. And I do things differently here on this channel, so with that, there might be triggering statements that do arise on the readings themselves. There's no obligation to force it to fit, while keeping in mind that triggers can be a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journeys. If the messages resonate with you, it means so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And with that, I'm going to grab one of these archetype cards for you, and then we'll go ahead and get into it. So, source for pile 1. Urgent answers from your spirit guide, pile 1. What archetype card is going to give us that answer today? Thank you. All right, put this over there. Let's get into it. Urgent answers from your spirit guides, pile 1. Urgent answers from your spirit guides. Okay. So we got the first house. We've got Scorpio energy and we've got Mars. This feels like taking back your pride. And I know that we're talking about not being prideful. Like, don't let your ego get in the way. Don't let your pride get in the way. But it feels like pride of self. Something drastic has changed or happened in your life. That could be the way that you show up for yourself, or that could be the way that, just in general, right? Like life in general has gotten in the way of you. Maybe used to really like changing your hair every day, and you don't do that anymore. Now you just do one simple thing, and it's just easier that way, so I don't have to worry about it. Or maybe you like doing makeup and you stop doing makeup and you don't know why you stopped doing makeup. Or maybe you like to dress a certain way and you stop dressing a certain way. Yeah. And there's the shadow at play right now. I just feel like there's some sort of oppression that you've been through. There's some sort of energy where things have really been hard for you. And a grief period is happening right now. My apologies. I have to turn on the AC. It is kind of roasty in here. Okay. Yeah. Where there's like a period of grief, or where you're going through a period of, it could even be healing. And right now, it's like you become trapped in a box. Like it feels like you're in a cage. It feels like you're in a box. It feels like I can't step beyond this. You know, it's like, I go, like, if you're a guy, right, like maybe you like to grow your beard out and trim your beard in a certain way, but now you just shave it all off because that's just easier every morning to shave it all off, and instead of doing this, you know, manicured style, it feels like. And I know that can seem very superficial, but sometimes those are the small things that help keep us grounded. Like even at night, going to bed, like maybe you have a face routine and you stopped doing the face routine, or you stopped washing your hair every day, or, you know, like whatever it is that made you feel more like yourself. And your urgent answer from your spirit guides is to take small steps to actively do those things for yourself, while also taking small steps to defend against whatever it is that's been calling your attention. And I heard someone say, but it's a child. That I was so loud, it came in, but it's a child. And I get that. It's difficult when you have kids. It's difficult to say, I need some mommy time or daddy time, right? I need some me time. But it's also important that you do take it in when you do have a child. So like maybe when you schedule a nap for your child, like if you have a young child or a baby, brand new, you know, like you schedule that nap time. And I know at the very beginning, this might be impossible, or it feels impossible. But when they're taking a nap, if you can just go and do one thing that you used to for yourself, you'll feel a lot better. If there's not kids involved, but there's people who are trying to demand your time, your energy, your presence, it's just saying, like, take back your time and say no to them, even if they're trying to make you feel guilty or bad about saying no, about taking space to yourself. Like, this is a reminder that I just feel like it's so weird right now. I feel like I'm going crazy. Like, I feel like I want to pull my hair out at the roots. And I feel like I want to scream at the top of my lungs. Like, I just feel like everything is closing in on me right now, and it's really overwhelming. And so this is a very big feeling that you're experiencing, and that's why it's necessary for you to find you time. Like, you know, if you are a mom and when dad gets home from work, right? Be like, look, I know you worked all day and I was with the baby all day. I need 20 minutes to myself. And then take that 20 minutes and go take a bath, or even get out of the house. Take a drive in your car or something, like get away from the situation, because I feel like there's just this, like, something is closing in on you, and it's like you just need a few minutes to really decompress and get away from it so that you can reconnect with yourself. And you'd be surprised, you know, like everybody's like, I just don't have that time, but even 5 minutes can be enough if you really stay present in that moment. And I just feel like there's something here where you're just suppressing some feelings, suppressing some emotions, and it's because it's so overwhelming, and it's like, I'm not supposed to feel this way about this. I should be feeling this way about this. But look, pile one, I'm just gonna say, there's no blueprint, or there's no book for dummies, okay? There's no guide to life. There's nothing out there that says this is how you're supposed to feel. You feel how you feel, and that's okay. And so stop trying to say like you're not allowed to feel this way, because there's a reason you feel this way. There's a reason this emotion is coming up. All right? And that's what your spirit guides want to remind you of, that you have to take action for yourself. Like, even if you have a caring partner, right? You can have a completely caring partner, but if you don't respect your space and your time, they're not going to always step forward and say, hey, you need to take a break. But you might have a partner who does that, right? And you might need a little bit more, and it's okay to ask for that, right? And I'm not saying to just completely shirk responsibilities here. That's not what this is. But there's like a need to get out. I just feel like I need to get out of the house. Like, that's what I just feel like. I need to get out of the house. I need to get out of the house. I need to get out of the house. But that could be work, right? That could be work. It could be hanging out with a certain person. It's like there's an energy here that's just very... It's very oppressive. It just feels like all-consuming. And I just feel like you need to do something to reconnect with yourself. Like, make a dinner date with yourself every week. You know, do something for yourself. Make a promise and keep showing up for that. Let's find out. Spirit Guides urgent answer for pile one. Urgent answers from your spirit guide, pile number one. Yeah, oh, somebody that's conceited. That's misguided. Okay. Urgent answers from your spirit guides, pile one. Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is a very oppressive energy. Okay. One more, they said. Urgent answers from your spirit guides. Whoa. Look at this. You're getting all mystery cards. This is a huge energy. And it's overwhelming. This is incredibly overwhelming. I feel like you feel disconnected from yourself. I want to run away. That's what I keep hearing. I want to run away. We have the Queen of Cups on the bottom and the upright. Yeah, it's time for you to love yourself. To do what it takes to care for yourself, right? Let's see what these are. Yeah, okay. Yeah. It's interesting, because I feel like you're being represented right now by the Popess and the reverse. And it's just not being able to truly trust your intuition right now, because there's somebody here that's in an Emperor, not necessarily in the upright. I know he came out in the upright, but this is like a battle here, right? Okay, it's like this is this person, whoever is represented by this Emperor. And again, it could be someone who is very manipulative, controlling. That's what I'm really getting from this, okay? I know he's in the upright, but that's the energy that's coming, is super controlling, super overwhelming, like, and he's facing you, the Popess in the reverse. And the only reason that you're in the reverse right now instead of in the upright is because it's creating a lot of chaos. That's why I'm saying, like, I'm feeling like the walls are closing in on me. Like, I feel very nervous right now. I feel very anxious. Like, I feel like Like, I want to go and honestly, I want to wrap a blanket around my head and my upper body and just kind of like shrink into it as small as I can. Like, I don't know, like I'm rubbing the sides of my jaw. Like, I don't like this feeling at all. Like, I just feel like I need to wipe it off of me. It's a very weird energy. It's very overwhelming. This could be a parent with the Three of Cups here. This could be a partner as well with the Three of Cups. But what they're showing here is that the situation is very neglectful. It's very one-sided right now. Someone wants control in this situation. Now, you could be wanting to control the outcome of the situation, which, you know, we have to take accountability for the energy that we're bringing to the situation. We can't just say that it's everybody else's fault, because no matter what in life, it does take two to tango, which means that we ourselves are coming from a certain type of energy as well. And so we have to take responsibility for that, right? I'm not trying to diminish what you're going through by any means, but also just that recommendation and that reminder that if you're trying to control the outcome of the situation, that could be repeating a cycle. Okay. But with Temperance here in the reverse, it's just showing that this is an incredibly unbalanced situation. And we see that here, right? With the Emperor going against the Popess. Like, we see it's incredibly balanced. You have someone who is connected to the mundane, who's fighting someone who's spiritual, or who's trying to control someone who's spiritual, right? Who's trying to bring somebody back down to a reality that they never belonged to in the first place. And, you know, you're someone who is more probably into that energy of manifestation, prayer, rituals, you know, like you've got, maybe you journal, maybe you do shadow work, maybe you do all of these things, but it's like, it feels like you are more connected to the divine, and there's someone here who doesn't see the divine. The Emperor is very focused on the mundane world, the 3D realm, and that's all that matters because he's the ruler of the 3D realm. But also, the Popess, to me, she has an incredibly unique story from the Tarot Marseille. She was actually the only female pope to have ever existed. She was Pope Joan, and she has an incredibly sad story, but she was always dressed as a man. If you see, she's completely covered from head to toe. You only see her face. And while that might have been the dress of the Pope back in her time, she had to dress like this because she was a woman, and they asked her to be a pope, not knowing that she was a woman. Okay, and her story is she gets pregnant, and they find out that she's a woman, and they stone her to death. It's very sad, but it's also just going to show, like, again, the archetype, the masculine, right? Very masculine, the hierarchy, and that energy of control. So not just men in general. This could be a female. This could be a man, a woman. It could be whatever. But just showing here that this masculine energy is trying to suppress someone who is naturally not of the world, not meant for this world, right? Pope Joan was not necessarily meant to be a pope. She, even in today's times, like, you don't hear of women popes because it's just not a thing. It's a position for men. And so that's what they're saying here. It's like, and I'm not saying that you're a woman or a man or any of that really that matters. What I'm saying is that this is a position in your life. You're not meant to be focused on the same things that this Emperor is focused on. And so this feels like a very weird battle that's become completely imbalanced. Like they're set. So this would be like, if you're in a state of faith and you're in a state of prayer and trusting the things that are happening, right? And that's the thing. So if you bring forward that, like, oh, I prayed about it and I'm trusting that things will happen for the good. This is someone's like, what's the point of prayer? It doesn't work. Prayer's never worked for me, so why would it work for you? But then if it works for you, then they get mad about it and they try to create chaos in your life because they don't understand why it worked for you and not for them. And so because they're so connected to money, they're connected to the physical world, what they can taste, touch, see, and hear, not the things that they can feel internally, and you're connected to the things that you feel internally, and that's why they're trying to show this is a huge imbalance with the world in the reverse. Is showing this is conceit, misguided reasonings. Okay, someone who is not in a state of completion or wanting to heal or wanting to overcome. Okay, we've reached an imbalance. There's a lot of neglect that's going on here, but also I feel like the reason why the Three of Cups came out in the reverse and as the very first card is showing that because of the imbalance in the situation, it's become overwhelming for you and you've begun to neglect yourself. And so as we end with the Queen of Cups here, your spirit guides are reminding you to come back to a state of self-love, self-care, really pouring into yourself and reminding yourself that you're worthy of good things, right? Taking care of yourself. Look at this. Cancer energy. This is Cancer energy. We have nurture, comfort, and protection, right? Cancers also are about self-care, but codependent relationships can come up under the sign of Cancer. Everybody can deal with them, but that's something that it represents. Also, if you have highly aspect fourth house placements in your chart, this could be something that you struggle with, or if you have Venus in the fourth house, you could struggle with codependent relationships or deciphering yourself from the relationships as well as what's coming in. So there's this need to nurture and comfort and protect yourself, and part of the way that you're going to do that is by setting up some very strong boundaries here and by saying no, enough is enough. Like, and you don't have to be vicious, you don't have to be cruel. Sometimes, and I said this in the beginning, sometimes the healing, most amazing thing that we can do is put on a pair of headphones and go and disconnect ourselves from the outside world and really focus on what it is that we're creating. That can be super, super healing, okay? Yeah, fire, Aries, Leo, Sag, confidence, optimism, passion, and bravery. This is going to take your bravery, your courage to make a change for yourself, but know that there's good for you coming. And also too, like, it's interesting because I feel like I struggle with this at times too, and it's just sometimes we're going to have moments where we fall back into old patterns so that we can reinitiate our journey. So please don't beat yourself up for that. You know, everybody's always talking about progress, and there's so many people that are so stuck on progress, moving forward, moving up, moving this way, like we can't ever go back. But the truth is that life is circular. It's very rarely a straight line. And so circular means that eventually we're going to come back to a crossroads, and we got to choose in that crossroads. And so struggling with ourselves and struggling with the journey and struggling in moments of trials is natural for us. Like, it's going to happen. Also, sometimes just embracing those and knowing that it's okay for you to rest when you need to, but it's okay for you to also make a different choice for yourself when you need to. Responding, not reacting. The only control we have is in how we respond to the hand we are dealt. So, you know, this really confirms that feeling. It's like maybe there's someone here controlling or trying to control the outcome. Like, you could be trying to control the outcome. Again, taking responsibility for ourselves. I'm not calling you a controlling person. It's human nature, right? That's what this is. But again, the only control that we have is in how we respond to the hand we are dealt. It may be a very difficult hand. It may be a very difficult time for you, but there are options, and the option here feels like self-care. It feels like taking care of yourself and not running away. There's an energy here of running away. There's an energy here of just shutting down. And they want you to come back to the things that they know make you feel good. What makes you feel good? Is that going on a walk in nature every day? Is that taking time out and reading your favorite book? Is that enjoying a cup of tea outside in the morning sunlight, right? Like, whatever it is, it can be anything. But focusing on those, like, it just feels like there's a resignation here, like, to this overwhelming energy. It's like what they want is what they're getting, because I just can't fight against it anymore. And maybe there's no need to fight against it. Rather, there's a need to move around it, right? And I know we talk about going through is the only way, and that's true. But what if for you it's not about demolishing what's in front of you as much as it is just fluidly dancing around to find yourself again. That's what I'm keep seeing. It's like moving around a rock. That's what it feels like here, is being like water and flowing with yourself. So if you need to leave, leave. If you need to find space and time, find space and time. If you need to make a little creative corner, make a little creative corner, and make sure you get some noise canceling headphones, right? And just be like, look, this is it. And then if they're like trying to bother you and bug you, it's okay to ignore them. Don't feel guilty for ignoring them, especially if you've made it clear, like, this is my me time. Don't come in and interrupt me in this time. Let's see what else. Whoa, okay. Thank you. A time for healing. Yeah, there's a lot of healing here. And this could even be like an old energy that you're overcoming, right? This could be something that you are letting go of from the past, and that's okay, right? You don't... It could be something you're dealing with currently. It could be something you're healing from, but they want you to come back into this place of having self-esteem. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. So what's your path of purpose, right? Focusing on that for a little while and trusting that it's going to get you to where you need to go. And forgiveness. Acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. And, you know, I've talked about this recently, and I know that I brought it up before, but forgiveness is a daily walk. And also remembering that forgiveness is about relieving them of the debt that they owe us. The debt they owe us is an apology, and it's an apology that we'll never get. So we have to absolve that debt so that we can move on for ourselves. That's what it is. And I know that that sounds... You know, it's like, oh my gosh, like I can't. It's unforgivable what they did. And maybe it is. Maybe it is unforgivable. But if it's unforgivable, maybe you should leave that up to source instead of you carrying it. The resentment, the hurt, the pain, the entrapment of that. Because it feels like it's closing in on you from all sides and you can't find a way out. Like you're struggling to see yourself any longer. It's just weighing you down. And it's because of the hurt and the resentment for the situation. It doesn't mean it's unjustified. It's just the resentment now has become so big that you're unable to escape it. And that's what they're saying. They want you to let it go. Put down the burden. Give it to source. Let go and let God. Right? Like these are things that can help you move on to the next chapter in your life. To come back to a state of alignment. It just feels like you've been falling out of alignment, but are you really? Like, that's the thing. It might feel like you're falling out of alignment, but are you really? I feel like this was always set for your journey, is to come to this place that you're at now because they knew. They knew. And this is a part of your alignment. It's part of you choosing yourself. Yeah, connections. This is a very, very sticky connection with Tarantula here. But also, like, look, she's reaching out and holding on to the tarantula here. All she has to do is let go and stand up. But she's bound to the forest floor here because she's holding on. She's the one that's trying to control the outcome. You know, and look, I get it. There's people that we love in our lives, or there's people that have certain roles and certain titles and places in our lives, and we want them to be that role entirely. Right? So just say it's a spouse, right? You want them to be the good spouse. You want them to be the one that cares for you, loves you, sees you, allows you to care for, love, and see them. Maybe you're with somebody who's very selfish and who doesn't even notice you or recognize you at all, who diminishes you or who makes you feel small. And, you know, like these are things that no matter how much we wish for this person to fulfill that role, they have to want it for themselves. And if they've made it clear time and time again that that's not what they want, then we have to be the ones that are okay with letting go. Right? We can't change a tarantula's nature. We can't change a snake's nature. Right? They are the ones that can choose to be kind or they can choose to be vicious. And if we get caught up in that viciousness and then we're sitting there like, we got bit by a poisonous spider and we're like, what the heck? Why did you bite me? Because it's their nature. But we're over here shocked, even though we know that we're dealing with someone who's venomous, toxic. And we're shocked. We're the ones that are like, I can't believe that you did this to me. That's the thing, and that's part of our control. It's like our ego is trying to convince us that we're superhuman. So I'm superhuman. No, it's not a grand delusion. So keep me in this state of mind. Tell me that it's just fine, 'cause I'm superhuman, superhuman. What is that? That's by, the song is called Superhuman. I can't think of who it's by. Leo the Lion or something like that. I wish I could remember. It's a dubstep song, but right, but we think that, right? Like, we think we're superhuman. We think that we can overcome everything if we just give it enough. But we lose ourselves in that, right? You're the one going into a snake's den, or you're the one that's going into a spider's nest, and we're thinking like, oh, it's cool, it'll turn into a little bunny rabbit. And then it doesn't, and then we're shocked. Like, what the heck? Why didn't you turn into a bunny rabbit? Because it never was meant to be that. But we're still holding on, hoping and praying for it to be. That's why it's like sometimes we have to forgive people for their nature, no matter how much it hurts. And I think that's the hardest thing. Like, I was actually talking to my bestie about this. My bestie for Resty. I was talking to her about this, and I said, you know, like, the thing is that the hardest thing that's, especially for me, I think the hardest thing to let go of in difficult situations is the fact that I'm never going to get an apology for the things that they did, for the way they treated me, how they talked to me, how, you know, they hurt me. And I'm never going to get the acknowledgement of that. And I think that's the hardest thing, like, personally to heal from. And maybe it is them taking accountability. And I said this to her, maybe it is them taking accountability. Maybe it is them taking responsibility. And I was like, but if somebody came to you with a sincere, honest apology, wouldn't they already take all of those things into account? But if we're never going to receive the apology because they cannot take sincere accountability for where they're at or the role that they played in our lives, then we're the only ones that are hurting from it. And no matter how much it hurts that we're never going to receive that apology, we have to choose what matters more. Is holding on what matters more, or is letting go what matters more? And it's like something that's so oppressive when you're holding on to it. You have to realize it's like, I'm getting stuck in this whirlwind of energy that's not even mine to begin with. And I can't anymore, right? And that's what it feels like. And so it's like this person or this situation, this could be a situation even, it's like it's benefiting from you not seeing your truth, not seeing the direction that you want to go, and being focused solely on them. Shaman, healing energy. We had, look at that, where was it? There's a time for healing. Yeah, for the moon deck. The Moonology deck. Yeah, so again, healing energy. It could be a parent or grandparent here. This could be a child. This could be a situation where you're working with kids. You could be a teacher. You could be a healer, and this could be a friend or a family member who doesn't appreciate or understand the work that you do. It's a time for healing, and this is you bringing that healing energy to yourself, alchemizing. I also feel like here this is helping you to heal the inner child, and they want you to really focus on that right now. Look at this, servitude, loss of power, control. Like, this feels like, you know, again, I don't want to lose control. I don't want to lose control over the situation, because if I lose control, then I lost. I lost something. But are you really losing something? If you just like let go and let it play out, what's going to happen? You know, I have someone in my life right now. It's like, if I don't start a conversation with them, then they barely talk to me. And if they do have a conversation that they're trying to start with me, it's always about like it's just about them and what they feel and what they're going through and what's this and what's that. And it's really weird. It's just a really weird situation. It's not even usually has anything to do with what I'm going through or what I've brought up or what is going on. It's just a really weird situation. And so it's like, I wondered at some point, like, if I stop talking, what happens? Right? And I mentioned this in the beginning. I'm not like super ready to talk about the situation that I'm in right now. It will come up eventually. I'm sure I'll share the story one day. But what I'm going through like right now is like, that was one thing I had to decide. Like, is it worth me continuing to try to hold this situation? And if I don't talk, like, there's sometimes there'll be days where we don't talk to each other. It's just a weird dynamic. There's a really weird bug in the house right now. I don't know. It looks like a little wasp, but I don't think it's like this big and it's red. It's just like, I don't know. I guess I could be freaking out, but no. I feel like the thing is loss of power control. It's like feeling like if I give up, then I give in. And if I give in, then I'm losing something. But you're not. Sometimes you have to just let it go to let it be whatever it's going to be. Might have to go catch that and take it outside. Or maybe I'll get lucky and he'll go in the window and I can let him out. Yeah, Imam Coeli, make peace with the past. This is something that's been with you for a long time. And it's been hard. It's been hard to deal with. And that's understandable in a situation like this. It's just been holding on. And if it's something that you weren't able to heal from as a child, you know, it's natural that it would hang out with you into your adult life. And that's always a challenge, right? And so your spirit guides are reminding you that it's okay for you to let go. Make peace with the fact that it's not going to change. It's not about, like, sometimes you just have to accept them for who they are, right? They're toxic. They're abusive. They're mean. They're never going to see me. They're never going to understand me. Sometimes we just have to accept that and realize, like, there's nothing that we can do to change that. But I've been that person. Like, let me share a story with you about my ex. There's one time I noticed that he was texting other women, right? And it hurt me. Oh, it hurt me so bad, especially because he always told me, he's like, you know, you're the one for me. I'm never going to cheat. And I know that that's not true. But anyways, I found out he was texting other women. And in that moment, I made a decision. I made this decision that I was going to prove to him that I was the best person that he was ever going to have in his life. I said that to myself. I was like, I'm going to make him regret him ever doing this to me. And so I cooked to the best of my ability. I cleaned to the best of my ability. I just basically gave everything of who I was. We had great sex. We did this. We did that. And I did the best that I could at everything I had to offer. And do you think that made him repent for what he did? No. It just made him take more advantage of me. And he did. And that's one of the things that really broke me at the end, is because I just really gave 100% of myself over. I gave all of my power to him. And I was at the will of everything that he was doing. And, you know, it's hard because he was narcissistic, and I didn't know what that term meant until almost the end of our relationship. And it was like, when I finally started learning what it was like, oh my gosh, somebody has, like, giving me an understanding of what it is that I've been through. But I also had to realize and take accountability for the part that I played. If in that moment when I saw he was texting other women, I had made the choice of self-respect, I would have walked away. And I know that now. But in that moment, I was choosing the label. I was choosing the situation. I was choosing him because I thought that that's what was the right thing to do. But it wasn't self-respecting. That was self-deprecating. Right? Melting mask. Allow your spirit self to shine through the many roles you fulfill. And don't let yourself be like, I feel like there's something here where you're afraid to be seen. You're afraid to be heard. You're afraid to be understood even. And it's not that you're shirking away from that or anything. It's just like, maybe you've never been understood. And if you're understood, like, what does that look like, right? So sometimes that can scare us too. And I wish I could remember this quote that came up the other day even. This woman, her name is Marianne. Oh, I can't remember her last name. But she has this beautiful long quote, and one of the parts in there says is that we often fear success, not because we'll leave others behind, but because we're actually being seen. And that's a reason why many of us fear success. And so that's something that's coming up here for you, is reminding yourself that it's okay for you to be seen, even if it makes people uncomfortable. And your spirit guides want you to know that your hard work is paying off. Like, there are things that are happening in the spiritual that are moving you forward right now, for sure. And didn't I say that? You know what your purpose is. What is it? Keep pouring into that. We have shark with purpose. Be a shark. Don't let people deter you from the thing that you want to do. And staying grounded right now. It's incredibly important for you, Pile 1, staying grounded. So they just want you to take a walk in nature or meditate or do whatever it is that makes you feel grounded. Take that time and do that for yourself and make that a solid boundary. Just say, nope, I need these 5 or 10 minutes to myself. I need this hour to myself, whatever it is, and get grounded. You're going to feel a lot better, a lot more connected. So let's take a look at your card. I'm going to read this from the book. So this came out on the bottom of the deck for the collective message. You might resonate with the collective message that we did at the beginning. So funny that this came out. 23. So the creator, it says, mindful of the fire that purifies and devastates, and of the deluge that is in its gloomy precipice rules and governs the fate of mortals, white, celestial, and motionless turns, the experienced and naive gaze that creates from the ashes of the world. It's like rising from the depths like a phoenix here. Prodigious artificer, he fabricates the thin bridges that bind the vertical sky to the hearts of men, and brings industrious in the still coldness and the lightless breast, the gold of the stars hanging from the formless vault of the universe. The creator leads by 2 opposite paths. The soul that creates, the more it ascends to shining Olympus, the more it descends into the misty Tartarus. Ascent and descent, bloody sacrifice from which radiant life is born. The essence is a seed that sleeps tucked away in the strong circular arms of the earth. The essence is a plant that grows in the damp bowels, a present and unheard gold, a deep and secret way. The creative soul loves the one who trusts, the one who observes with curiosity and amazement in every direction. The one who in front of the golden sun, the hands clasped in anxious expectation, waits and pushes, companion of inspiration, the beginning of everything. It says every creative act combines experience, innocence, and wonder. And the thing here is that ascent and descent, right? That's that thing where it's like there's going to be highs, there's going to be lows. That's just a part of life. But if we're always stuck in the lows and wondering when they're going to become highs again, we're going to miss them. They're just going to bypass us, right? So reminding yourself, sometimes we have to be the opportunist, right? We're the ones that have to create that for ourselves. And when we can create that for ourselves, i.e. focusing on our projects, focusing on our creative aspects, focusing on things that bring us back into a Zen state. You know, it could be anything, art, writing, poetry, singing, music, dancing, building, whatever it is. Whatever it is, it's like bringing you back into that Zen state so that you can reconnect with your true purpose and with your true self. Because in that Zen state, all those things that are worrying you, all those things that are so heavy on your heart right now are going to start fading away, and the answer will become blaringly clear for you and how to move forward for yourself this time. Because I feel like that's the thing. You need to do this for yourself, not for anybody else. You've done this a lot for everyone else, and now it's time to do it for yourself, to protect yourself, to care for yourself, to love yourself. You deserve that, okay? So this is what I see here for you today, Pile 1. If you feel like this was your reading, leave the little earth emoji down below and say, today I choose to stay grounded in my path of purpose, knowing that it is my creative ability that helps me connect with my higher self, with source, with whatever you believe in, and allows me to create a clear path moving forward, to move away from the things that are no longer in alignment with me. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything in the description box. So with that, I would like to take a second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming through to give us this powerful message. And until next time, Pile 1, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this green aventurine, or perhaps you felt called to this tarot, which is the I'm gonna say it, the Nicoletta Sicoli tarot. My box is all tore up, but we use these a lot. Then this is going to be your urgent answers from your spirit guides. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining us. Your time, your energy, and your presence are a true gift and a blessing, and I'm deeply honored to be here sharing them with you today. I do things differently here on this channel, so there might be triggering statements that arise on the readings themselves. There's no obligation to force it to fit, while keeping in mind that triggers can be a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journeys. All right, so we are going to start with an archetype card, and also if you're interested, there was a collective message at the beginning that you might resonate with. But for pile 2, urgent message from your spirit guides, or urgent solution and answer from your spirit guide. Gonna get there. All right. So we're not doing the bottoms of these because I did the collective at the beginning. So if you would like to see that, that's timestamped down below. No obligation to see it. If you don't want to, that's fine. Let's find out. So urgent answers from your spirit guide. Urgent answers from your spirit guide, pile 2. So we've got the 5th house, Leo energy, and the North Node. I heard do the thing. That's why I heard it so loud. Do the thing. Just do the thing. This really, I mean, it could be in regards to dating. I just want to point that out. That's really quickly. But I really feel like there's more to this. Okay, this is more about your role as a leader, healing your inner child, reconnecting with your courage, your confidence, who you are. Believe in your ability to create the path that you've always dreamed of. You're stepping into a new era of your life, pile 2, and it comes with it a lot of uncertainty, and that uncertainty can often lead to self-doubt. And so I feel like here it's just reminding you to stay confident in your abilities, to stay confident that your path of purpose is written. And while we control, like we're the captain, right? We're the captains of our hearts and our souls and our destiny and everything like that. There is a predetermined path that we can follow, even though we get to express that however we want, right? And it kind of sounds like, oh, so I can just do whatever and everything will work out. No. It's not really about that. It's about doing what your heart wants. Following your heart here is really going to help you set yourself free from the confines of societal construct and belief. And I feel like the thing is they're saying, like, you've been asking for signs if you're on the right path, and you are on your North Node, but it also might not be coming or happening as fast as you thought. Yeah, it's not happening as fast as you thought. And so with it, there can be this, so I'm kind of getting twofold here. Don't let arrogance get in the way. Like, yes, believe in yourself, but also not to this point of feeling like, well, I'm so good that it needs to happen right now, right? Like, you can, of course, say, I'm so good and I know that it's going to happen, right? Like, but this whole idea that, like, because of how talented I am or because of how gifted I am, like, it has to happen when I say, that's that arrogance that's coming through. And that might be something that you've had to let go from the past, and that is still kind of creeping up here and there. But they're saying, like, don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to be different. Don't be afraid to be unusual here. Let your confidence and your heart guide you in this moment. And again, that could be in regards to dating as well. That's just kind of a side note that it feels like here. So that's only for maybe 1 or 2 people, okay? So let's get some more answers on it. Now, I don't take these in reverse. I just want to point that out. Most of my decks, I don't. It's not because I don't know how to read the reversals. have always been guided to using these in the upright. Now, the meanings that come through, they don't, it's still the same as if I use my Tarot Marseille, right? Like, I get the energy, it comes across very clear. But I just want to point that out. I don't take these in reverse. Now, if it comes out in reverse, that's a different story. We'll talk about it, right? All right, urgent answers from your spirit guides. Yeah, there's something here about feeling like if you let yourself be honest or true to yourself, that people are going to eat you alive, or you're going to be in the wolf's den, or this, yeah, the wolf's den, thrown to the wolves. That's what I'm hearing. But that's not the case at all. And there might be some cruel people out there. There might be some really unkind people out there. But again, it's like when people are cruel or unkind to us, just use that as a stepping stone, right? Use the rage as a stepping stone to move on. But also looking at it as like, wow, I'm really grateful that you made it clear that we're not going to resonate with each other. Like, I didn't have to investigate further on this. You made it super clear that we're not going to resonate with each other. So good luck, have fun, peace out, right? So instead of being so attached to like, what did I do wrong? Why don't you like me, right? It's just about letting it be exactly what it is. You don't like me? Cool. Good luck on finding your people. That's it. Urgent answers from your spirit guides. Whoa. Yeah. Okay, bottom of the deck, we've got the Chariot. A lot of Cancer energy. We just moved on from Cancer into Leo season, so the peak of summer, right? All right. So the thing is here is that there's something here that's troubling you, but you're seeing something very clear. Like, you're recognizing there's something that feels much bigger than it is with this huge rabbit here, right? There's something that feels much, much bigger. And so it's like, I want to hide from it. But I feel like when you turn around and face it, you're going to realize that it's something that's so small that's been tugging at you, but there's this energy that feels like, oh my gosh, like I can't face that. It's too big for me to face. And, you know, like part of your healing with the King of Cups here is part of your healing is trusting that your healing has helped to evolve you to face these difficult situations that that are inevitably going to arrive in your life. Like, there's no finding some fast track to never experiencing life and all that life has. But I do feel like you'll see at one point you were smaller than this. Yes. At one point this did control you. Yes. But now you're seeing clearly. You see the red flags. You are able to discern the situation for what it is. And now it's just about pulling back your energy here. Yeah. Pulling back your energy. Trusting that you are emotionally mature enough to handle this. Right? You have a decision to make here. We have the 9 of Wands, the King of Wands. Yeah, wow. Your confidence is everything, in Judgment. So it could be a family situation with Judgment. It doesn't have to be. But again, it's something that's much smaller than you that has you locked in. Oh, this is a weird energy. This is weird, but it's like something that's so much smaller than you that at some point, you really believed that they have control over you, or that they have locked you away, or that they're the ones with the key. Like, oh, if they just did this, or if they just said that, or whatever it was, right? But it's not. They're not. Like, if she just stepped out of the flower, she'd literally be tall enough to step outside of this situation, right? But I do feel like there's just a lot of push and pull dynamic here. I'm not sure what to do. Judging the situation, I'm judging myself, I'm judging them. There's a lot of injustice in the situation as well. Even though we don't have justice card, it's just I feel that there's a lot of injustice in this situation. And it's just like, I'm not sure, right? Like, I'm not sure. And why is it that she's the only one that's trapped in this maze looking thing, but all the rest of the roses are out on their stems back here, if you can see that. I know it's a little dark today, it's cloudy out. When you see them, they're like standing tall. And she's the one that's like, oh, I don't know what to do. Right? Again, pulling yourself back from this energy. Taking a step back and reconnecting with yourself. Reconnecting with the power that you've created by healing. Right, but with the 9 of Swords at the center of your deck, it's creating this energy where, like, I'm not sure what to do. I'm not sure where to go moving forward, right? But here with the King of Wands, it's like regaining your self-confidence. We saw that with the dice. Regaining your self-confidence. But sometimes you have to begin again to do that. This is somebody that's watching your every move, or something that's watching your every move. And I feel like every step, every move, every direction that you change, this energy is like right there micromanaging you. And that's what they're saying, like, take back your energy. And even if they are micromanaging you, like, let them. Who cares? Right? And I feel like that's the thing. It's like, well, I care because it's just this overwhelming presence that's in my life all the time. But look, they're trying to be a fly on the wall, and you recognize that. They're not a fly on the wall, no matter how you look at it. They don't have access to your life like that unless you give it to them. Right? And I keep seeing the buttons here. It's interesting because not all the cards have a button, but on here you have the button on top of this star dice. And there's the button here. And I feel like they're saying button things up, right? Like zip it up. So don't share, don't overshare with this person or this situation. Don't give too much. Protect yourself. Take care of yourself in this situation. Right? Finding balance again in this situation is choosing yourself. But also just choosing your emotional well-being here. Yeah, choosing your emotional well-being. There's something about this that's tempting, though. It feels like there's a temptation in this situation as well. Like, you know, maybe it's what you're eating. Okay, like, let's just keep it simple here, because if you see, there's the flying donuts and the flying cookies here and the cake, and she's dressed like a cake, right? Like, and then the baby's even an ice cream cone. So it could be something that you're eating, like it's just a temptation, like you really, really like it, and it's like, oh, you know, like, it won't hurt me if I eat this every day, but you're starting to feel really bad about, you know, like, either yourself or you're beating yourself up. Maybe you've gained weight. And again, this is just an example. This could be a person, it could be a situation, it could be anything, but I just feel like here it's like they're just showing it's just some sort of temptation. And it's winning you over, and it could be because of, like, if it's food, let's just say it's food, it could be because of somebody you're dealing with, right? You could eat your emotions, or you could really just like, oh my gosh, when I get really stressed out, I really want some chocolate, you know, whatever it is. And so it's like there's something here that you're turning to ignore how this person makes you feel or how this situation makes you feel. There's some sort of temptation that you keep going back to and pouring into, and that temptation is keeping you disconnected and making it seem like this situation is outside of your control. And what your spirit guides want you to know is that when you choose to step into your spiritual intelligence, which you already innately have, you've grown so much. Yeah, and in your strength, look, the Emperor, again with the buttoning things up, and the Queen of Cups here, right? Caring for yourself. Prosperity is going to find you. But also just remembering that it's okay to do the lesser thing, to do the simplistic thing. Like, look, even this baby here, it's just a sewn up doll. It's not this fancy ice cream cone that this baby is here. It's just a little sewn up doll. But it's just like simplifying your life could be really helpful. So this is something that I've had to do before, and probably something I'm going to have to do again. But just as an example is like apps on the phone. Like sometimes I'll download these games because I just like want something else to do than to focus on my journey. because I'm human too. And then all of a sudden I'll get so obsessed with these games. Like a day and night, I'm just on these games like all the time, like always playing them. They take over my mind. Like I'm dreaming about them. It's wild, right? And sometimes to simplify my life, I delete them off my phone. I'm like, okay, I just got to delete this. I got to get rid of it. I can't, like, and I think one of the ones when I had to do this was like a year and a half ago. I was so obsessed with Monopoly Go. Like I was obsessed with it and I was just playing it. And it's because it's a fun game, right? But it's also one of those games, it's like not a game that ever ends. And so there's no finality to it, right? Like it's just always going to keep going and going and going and going and going. And that's it. And it's just never fulfilling because it's always going, but you can't help but show up, right? So again, just an example, right? So maybe it's something like that. So with this, I'm getting the Chariot is actually this energy of simplifying your life, like kind of going to this energy of minimalism, right? Like maybe you have too much stuff and you have to organize your stuff, or you have to get rid of some stuff, right? Use it, love it, or get rid of it. Like those are things that you can live by to help. And minimalism is not easy. Like it's very challenging because we've grown into this society of consumerism, if you will. Hold on just a second. Okay. So in pile 1, I'd mentioned there's this flying bug over there. It kind of looked like a wasp. It was huge. It was like really long. It was like that long. I was like, I don't know what the heck that is. Maybe I should be scared. Maybe I shouldn't. I was like, I'll probably catch it later and take it outside. Well, it disappeared for a while and I didn't see it. And so now, right now on your reading, why I was said, hold on, is it came up. And so I took a cup and I went over there and I caught it. And I don't know if it's a female mosquito, and I know like mosquitoes I don't like, but I try not to kill bugs. Like I try to take them outside where they really belong. I mean, technically I'm in their real estate, if you will. And so, but anyways, it was just it was really long and skinny, and it had like daddy long legs. And so I'm not sure what it was, but yeah, I caught it and took it outside. So it's outside now. So if you know what that is, maybe that bug holds some additional meaning to the reading. But I do feel like simplifying your life is going to help. And it doesn't necessarily have to be minimalism, right? Like you don't have to get rid of stuff. Maybe it's not that. Maybe it's just trimming the fat, if you will. Like trimming the fat for the people that you hang out with or the people that you give your time to. And redirecting it back to the things that matter for yourself. Or like if it is games, right? Like maybe you're a gamer, maybe you really like playing video games and stuff like that, but are they taking over your life? And is that something that's getting you further in your own journey? And like I said, like don't beat yourself up if there's times when you backslide. I talked about this in pile 1 too. It's like everybody's always talking about progress. Everybody has to go forward. But sometimes being human means that we go like this. Everything is circular. We're going to reconnect with past parts of ourselves again. And it's up to us to make decisions and choices. And it's okay if we make a not so aligned choice. It's going to happen. We're going to make a not so aligned choice. And I feel like that's just part of being human. But also part of that journey is when we do that, are we beating ourselves up? Are we treating ourselves like dirt when we do that? Because the journey is that those choices are inevitably always going to fall into our laps. But how we treat ourselves is everything in that energy. And so I feel like this is about opening your heart up and seeing this from a different point of view, while also knowing that it's okay for you to begin again, right? It's okay for you to start over, have a beginner's mindset. You don't have to go into this with, if you worked out, say you lifted, I don't know, what's a high weight? I hear people are like, I can lift 450 pounds. I'm like, wow, that's wild. That's like power lifters to me. But let's just say like you lifted 100 pounds at the gym, right? And you haven't been to the gym in a while, and now you go back and you can only lift 5 pounds. And you're like, what the heck? I was lifting 100 pounds. Well, yeah, muscles use it or lose it, right? Like that's the thing. And so now you've lost that muscle that you gained. But again, it doesn't mean that you can't get there. Right? Have a beginner mindset. What did you start with the first time around? Start again. And if starting how you started the first time isn't something that's feasible, then start with something that's a little bit more feasible and accessible for yourself, and know that that's okay. right? Like, that's just a part of the journey, is there's going to be ups and downs. But I feel like there's something here where you're beating yourself up because of either this person or this situation or this temptation, whatever it is. It's like you're beating yourself up for having to deal with it, or not being able to get away, or not being able to take care of something here, or it being bigger than it really is, and feeling like you don't have any say or control in the situation. And it's just having that beginner's mindset. Yeah, Venus, give and receive love, find value and see beauty. So there's also the things that we attract, right? Like, we attract what we are, and we become what we think we are. And reminding ourselves to maintain that highest form of love for ourselves. And even if we don't have enough to give to everybody else, can we continue to give that to ourselves? Like, sometimes we just have to be in a state of giving that to ourselves and be like, you know what? I'm sorry, I don't have extra for you today. I just don't. Not today. Not today. And that's okay. And, you know, it's respecting ourselves when we can't give to others, right? It's respecting ourselves when we don't have the capacity. But I know a lot of people, myself included, has felt this feeling guilty for not being able to show up for others. And sometimes we just have to realize, like, you know, if we don't have it in us, who are we really hurting if we don't show up? And sometimes it's hard to say ourselves, right? Like, it's hard to say, oh, I'd hurt myself if I showed up and did this for them. It's hard to say that because it's like, well, I can just put myself on the back burner like I always do. And they're saying, you know, don't do that anymore. Home, may your body be where a harmonious balance of love, strength, light, and pleasure lives. Yeah, so self-care here, taking a long bath, maybe getting a massage. You know, there's this energy of like going and taking a couple of nights at like a hotel out of town just for yourself. Maybe this is something you've been thinking about recently, and this feels like a green light. Like, just do it. Just do it. Take a couple days off and go and pamper yourself, like maybe a spa hotel or something like that. Like, there's something that you've been thinking about, maybe going and seeing the hot springs or something, especially with her in the hot springs here. And Source is saying, like, do that. It's taking care of yourself. There's like a need to recharge here for yourself and for the journey. Simplify things. Get away from maybe the temptation, whatever it is. Maybe your phone, like, it's okay to put your phone down. Turn your phone off for a couple of days. Right? And if you're like, no, then nobody will be able to get in touch with me. Like, that's kind of the point. You know, that's like one of those things. It's like we have to realize, like, I'm detoxing, and I have to detox from TV, from movies, from people, from my devices, from all that. Like, we have to detox sometimes and just really connect with ourselves and realize, like, I can't give you the energy that you're looking for, right? Something looking for your energy here, something seeing you and you're hiding from it. Maybe instead of hiding from it, you just need to up and get away from it for a little bit so you can come back re-empowered and stronger than before. Your commitment is being tested. First quarter moon. Yeah. So right now, this is a difficult chapter in your life, but part of that is to see if this is the journey you really want to take, right? And that can be really it's really hard. Actually, I had this conversation with my friend the other day. We were talking about that, you know, like, sometimes when things come up, you know, like, I get back into a routine and I get hurt, and she was saying the same thing, and it was funny because it was like, you know, she's like, well, I just think maybe Source doesn't want me to do it, or Spirit. She said, I just think Spirit doesn't want me to do it anymore. And I was like, I always wonder if those are just Source, like, testing our commitment to the journey. Like, you know, I add dancing into my routine, and I've been dealing with body, and you guys know this last year has been really hard for me for my body, but it's like I would add dance back into my routine, and all of a sudden I would get injured in some way, or my body would just hurt, or I'd have issues in my lower back, which I have because I broke my back in 2015. And so it's like, I always think about it. It's like Source is asking me, is like, do you really want to dance? And I'm always like, yes, I really want to dance, but I can't dance now because, like, right now, this last week, I've been dealing with my right hip, and my lower back has been really hurting, and just has been really wild, right? And so I always think that those are our commitments being tested, like something we really want to do. And it's like, even if it forces us to begin again, are we going to begin again? Are we going to keep showing up for it? And so that's what it's saying here. It's like, sometimes you need to get away and come back. You You know, this is something that happened in games when I was growing up. You know, like if you couldn't pass a level, you'd put the game down and then you'd come back and then you'd be able to pass it. Same thing with problems. If you're working on problems for school, like doing everything that you can to solve this problem, but for whatever reason, the solution eludes you and you're like, oh my gosh, I cannot figure out this problem to save my life. What the heck is going on? But you put it down, and if you can literally disconnect from it for a little bit and go do something else and come back, you all of a sudden you see the answer, right? And that's what this feels like. It's like disconnecting so that you can come back renewed and refreshed. Yeah, your purpose. I know what I'm here to do. So this could be your purpose, even just disconnecting for a little while, like minimizing it, letting things start to unfold in a more natural way. Like you could be trying to control the outcome for your purpose or for things in your purpose. And they're saying like, just let things kind of flow and be fluid for a little while. Don't be afraid to start again. It's okay. I know it's frustrating, but when we begin again, we're beginning with experience. We never start from scratch. Even if it feels like it, we're not. Like in that example I was saying, like of lifting weights, right? You're never starting from scratch because you built up to 100 pounds. Again, the example, right? So you have all that experience from when you built up to lifting 100 pounds. So you know how to do things in a way that you didn't when you first started from scratch, right? So that's what they're saying. Like you're never truly starting from scratch. So you're starting with this experience, even if you have to begin at the beginning again. That's okay. Yeah, and being kind to yourself is so important with fruit bat and flying fox. Like this always makes me think about being kind to the shadow within us, right? Because sometimes we just want to hide from the shadow. It's bigger than we think it is. But sometimes if we just be kind to that part of ourselves that wants love and that needs attention and validation, right? Then we can truly let go and we can truly observe ourselves from a much different place. And right now there's just a need for abundance of kindness for yourself, right? Not beating yourself up through this difficult challenge that you're in. Okay, this one wants to be seen, so we'll put that there. Archangel Phanuel, optimism and hope. And keeping a positive mindset will help. Staying hopeful, right? Things are going to happen for you too with the boat out here. Like your ships are going to sail in. Like things are going to work out for you. And I also feel like emotionally is with the ocean here. Like there's a lot of emotion in this situation. And sometimes you just need to let ourselves feel free for a moment. That's what I feel with this card. Like letting yourself feel free. Free from responsibility. Free from the commitment that you have. Free from the overwhelm that the situation has brought. So, yeah, warrior. Courage. Taking on challenges. Yeah, I couldn't even hold on to it. It wants to be in your reading for sure. Right? Letting go of karmic cycles and stepping into your abundance. But also remembering that you are a warrior. Right? I hear that song, Love is a Battlefield. That's the song I'm hearing right now, yeah. So this could be a love relationship. It doesn't have to be, but it could just be like love for self is a battlefield. And it's just like learning to love yourself has been about you really showing up and fighting for yourself in a lot of ways that you didn't know you could. But you're showing yourself that you can. Jupiter, go big or go home. Don't be afraid to dream big. Don't be afraid to dream big. Good things are coming for you. And I feel like a lot of abundance is coming into your life as well. And this feels like too, like maybe you just, like, how are good things coming? Like I've been waiting and then waiting and then waiting. So when are good things going to come? But I do feel like they are coming for you. Yeah, embrace your true north. So embrace your true purpose. And we've got North Node in your reading already. Yeah, you are on your path of purpose. So whatever it is that you're doing, you're meant to be doing this. But I do feel like what your spirit guides are saying is that maybe you're so attached to the outcome, like the success, the money, the freedom, whatever it is, and you've lost the joy for what it is, the joy for what it can be. And they want you to step back into that joy of what it was for you. right? And sometimes that's letting go of the expectations instead of it being successful. What if it's just fun for you? What does that look like for you, right? So I feel like this card wants to come out next. So yeah, work. Yeah, 27 with Beaver, work. So this is something you're doing for work, something you're working hard on as well. You spent a lot of time on this. And I just feel like Source is saying, like, remind yourself that even if it is work, it doesn't have to feel like work, but there's something here that maybe that you, right? Some things is pulling your energy, like some sort of addiction, like something you keep going back to. It's like, oh, but I need it to be this way, or I need it to look this way, or I need it to fit in here. You know, it's like if you're a painter, you're trying to paint like Picasso, and you're like, because Picasso's so big and popular, and that, but you're not Picasso, you're you. And you have a beautiful way of expression to bring into this world that can be equally as profound as Picasso. But how can we ever appreciate that if you are always trying to be like someone else? Right? And that's what they're saying. So it's just this reminder to let yourself be. Like, you've already fought so many battles. And now it's just about letting go of that fear that's attached to whether that's the success, or it's not coming in the way that you wanted it to, or things are just unfolding in a vastly different way than you thought, or you're holding on to something here. You keep going back to something because the feeling and the emotion is too big. Yeah, physical security, possessions, material values, and self-worth. So this is absolutely having to do with your physical security in this world, like the money that you're earning from this situation. And it's going to happen, but not to stay so attached to it. Let yourself be the unique version of yourself that you are, and let that speak for itself. People will come. So I grew up remembering it, if you build it, they will come. But I watched the movie recently and it said, if you build it, he will come. And I was like, oh, I do not remember them saying that. But obviously, whichever version you remember, right? If you build it, they will come. And that's really what it is right now. It's like just trusting that it'll happen, right? And thinking about that in the Field of Dreams, it's like he was deemed crazy by his family. Like, they were like trying to sell the farm out from underneath him because he chose to make this baseball field in the beginning of his, and they're like laughing because they're watching them play baseball on the field. And even the guy, he's like, what, they can't see him? And they're like, no, they can't see him. And they were all laughing because they were just enjoying the baseball game. And the little girl's like, oh, what are you guys doing? And she's like, we're watching him play baseball. And he's like, there's nobody there. And he's screaming at the little girl. And it's wild, right? But the whole family thought they were crazy. And they were like trying to sell the farm. And we're trying to do this to protect you. You got rid of some of your crops. Like, now the farm's going to go under and everything like that. And then it all worked out for him. But he had to trust that. Excuse me, relationships. I'm attracted to those people who serve my higher good. So I did say that this could have to do with love for someone here, or for some here. And so again, we are looking at both sides with our work and success, and with relationships as well. So maybe it's both for you. It doesn't have to be, but it could be. But again, it's just seeing that, like, this is reminding yourself to let go of the outcome. Distorted desire. Conscious desire rarely satisfies the unconscious need driving it. Yeah, so there's definitely like a fear that's driving this want to hold on to. So if it's money, right? Like, if it's, just say it's money, because that's the easiest thing for everybody to understand. It's just like thinking, if you're holding on to the outcome of a certain amount, or a certain freedom with money that money provides and all this, is like just holding on to that, like, oh my gosh, like, I have to have this, I have to have this, I have to have this, I have to have this. And every day you're waking up in that energy, right? Like, that's a fear. It's easy to get into that habit. It's easy to get into that energy. Absolutely. Especially when money is what rules the world. And it's just reminding yourself, like, to step away from that fear and come back into a state of trust and self-value and self-worth. Okay? Work through your fears. Yeah, so very powerful energy here. Your spirit guides are saying it's about your fears, like working through these fears that have come up and that are very present with this. They feel very big. I don't want to face them, but they're still kind of controlling me. And so when you work through these fears, you'll be able to free yourself from this, right? Be bold and make the first move. Cardinal moon. So this also feels like that beginner mindset. Don't be afraid to begin again. All right, so let's take a look at your card. I'm going to read this from the book. These are kind of wild. I just want to point that out there. I should have said that on pile 1 and I didn't, but these are a little bit wild. I love these cards, but they are just a little bit wild. So I'm just going to say keep an open heart as we read this card, because it is a little bit wild, but they're pretty deep too. So let's see what you got. The Guardian Angel. Yeah, this feels like also like your spirit guide is actually your guardian angel coming in. And it's interesting because I saw an apple, but it's actually a ball with a bird standing on top here. I was thinking about like when the archers would shoot at the apples on top of the heads, right? Like on people's heads, and they would shoot it for target practice, which is probably so scary. But like, even if that, like if an archer came up to you and was like the best archer, 100 for 100, hit the target every time, and they said, hey, would you put this apple on your head so I could shoot at it? No matter how many times they hit the target, 100 for 100, right? Like they were perfect score all the time. You would probably say no. Why? Because that's scary. That is scary. Like, what if this is the one time you miss? Right? And so the reason why I feel like I saw that is because that's what it feels like here. It's like, it's scary. What you're trusting in is scary. What you're having faith in is scary. And it's like, what if this is the one time that it misses? Right? It's like, of course it would miss with me, right? That's a self-fulfilling prophecy. But it's like, that's that feeling that's coming in. What if this is the one time that it misses? And that's what sort of saying, like, faith is what carries you through that fear. You have to trust. And it's like, in order for you to fully find trust is to face those fears that you have of, well, if you don't receive success, then what? If you don't receive the money, then what? Like, then that's hard. Like, if you don't get successful, it's like, well, then I spent all this time for nothing. But did you? You gained a lot from spending that time. If you don't get the money, well, then I can't do the things that I wanted to do. Sometimes I have to step back and look at it, but I don't have the money right now, and am I really worse for wear? Like, honestly, like, are you really worse for wear? And some might say yes, some might say no, but I mean, it's like, you're already in this situation, and so it's like, sometimes to have faith and to trust and to let go is truly looking at our current situation and recognizing the attachments that we have to the things that we desire most and seeing how they're distorting our reality, right? Distorting our desires even. All right, so let's read this from the book. It says, when the star most grateful to Aphrodite, and Aphrodite rules Venus, which is connected to the second house. And you guys got Venus on the bottom of the deck, so a lot of Taurus energy here too. When the star most grateful to Aphrodite recalls the day from the Sumerian realms, bringing with it light and beauty, on the walls, on the wavy hill that welcomes flowers and docile pastures. The angel is revealed to the generous eye. The industrious angel creates connection and upholds the brow of those who ask for the companion or the company of the meek, refreshment and protection. The goddess who more than any other moves slowly along circular paths. Wow, we talked about that. Life is circular. The angel dispels the storm of the soul and the turmoil of the heart, agitated by opposing passions, by inviting sincerity and salvation to the table of every creature. The angel unites in the same nature that either the ether that burns in the highest heavens and the red, sturdy wood that gives rise to life bathed in rain, without a guardian and slave to necessity and need. The mortal who lives will feed on his fathers and mothers, as eternal Kronos will do with his sons and daughters. When the light is extinguished and the shadow swallows up the world, and with it the celestial creatures that silently watch, the black angel castrates and devours, and, around his tree, takes away fatigue and confidence from those who by day it protected so carefully. The message here is the generous guardian nurtures and pacifies. Protection without trust is the prison of the soul. So again, there's trust, and trust that you are protected, right? Trust that you are protected, but sometimes we let go of that trust, and that also deters us from our faith and saying like, oh, You know, like, we're going to be the one time. That's the self-fulfilling prophecy. But I feel like it's interesting. Without a guardian and enslaved to necessity and need, and it feels like the distorted desires card here. But it's like, also the mortal who lives will feed on his fathers and mothers as eternal Kronos will do with his sons and daughters. Like, Kronos was a god who was afraid of being usurped by one of his children, because that was the prophecy that came in, is that one of his children were going to take over and become all powerful. And his mother, his wife, and I cannot remember his wife, but his wife ends up hiding Zeus, the baby, away, and instead feeds a stone to Kronos, and the rise of Zeus happened, and Zeus ended up overthrowing his father. And that was the step into the golden age in Greek mythology. And so that was one of the things that came up. But Kronos didn't know that he ate a stone, because he had been devouring his kids for years, for centuries. And so, but his wife was so tired of not having a baby that's what she did. She protected Zeus, and Zeus became the powerful god of thunder. And so, you know, it's just interesting that story is coming up, because I feel like that's a thing. There's something here with, we'll feed on our mothers and fathers, and it's like we're living our generational curses, is what that feels like to me. And so this is like a generational curse being brought forth. But also what your spirits are saying is, your spirit guides are saying, is just to let go of the attachment that you have to the identity of the success, the money, or whatever it is that you're asking for, the relationship, the self-value, like all these things, and know that it's inherently yours. You've already created it in the ethers, and now it's just waiting for it to come into the physical, which is much easier said than done. But with patience, peace, and persistence on your journey, you will see that come to fruition. Okay? So, wow, what a powerful reading. This is the reading that I see here for you today. If you felt like this was your reading, leave the little coin, the gold coin emoji down below, and say, I choose to step into peace, patience, and persistence with trust and faith, knowing that my desired outcome is already here. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. So I would like to take a moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, my spirit guides, for coming together to give us this very powerful message today. And until next time, pile number 2, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this black obsidian, oh, I got the hiccups. Or perhaps you felt called to this tarot deck, which is the Wild Unknown Tarot. And this is going to be your reading, urgent answers from your spirit guides. My goodness, excuse me. Well, if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you're new here, thanks so much for joining us. Your time, your energy, and your presence are a true gift and a blessing. And I'm deeply honored to be here sharing this human experience with you. I do things differently here, so there might be triggering statements that arise on the readings themselves. There's no obligation to force it to fit, while keeping in mind that triggers can be a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journeys. So I'm going to start with one of the Jungian archetypes oracle. Excuse me. If you're interested, I did do a collective message at the beginning that you'll find timestamped down below. If you feel called to it, it's not an obligation. But we're going to grab one of these so that we can get an overall energy for you, pile 3. So, urgent answers from your spirit guide, pile 3. What oracle card will help us better understand this today? Thank you. Okay, we're not doing the bottom of the deck because I already did the collective message. So, all right, let's get into it. Urgent answers from your spirit guides, pile number 3. Urgent answers from your spirit guides. I don't know why I'm coughing all of a sudden. I feel like you're not speaking your truth. Like there's something that's keeping you from saying what you need to say, or there's like something that you feel like you need to hold back because you're not going to be accepted, or there's something that like you feel makes you super different from others and it's hard for you to talk about. And talking about it, even if it makes us super different, is sometimes the most healing thing that we can do for ourselves. And I know that it can be a struggle, but I feel like there's just a need to start. That's it. Like, talk about it with someone you're comfortable with and then take it to people you're uncomfortable with. I feel like the more that you get out there and share, the more you'll realize that people do recognize the power behind your words. Well, they also recognize that you're someone who's finally speaking for them as well. And that could be in anything, like a trauma, that could be healing, that could be some sort of spiritual idea or some sort of spiritual message that you receive. But if you don't take that first step, you'll never be able to get out there and share it with others. And I feel like that's something that is, in its own way, demoralizing you in some way, shape, or form. It's interesting. Okay. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we have the 5th house with Capricorn and we have Mercury coming out here. Yeah. So with Mercury, yeah, needing to speak your truth here, needing to get something out about how you, this has work, or this could be the way you see love, or this could be the way you feel about self-love even. This could be the way that you feel about hard work. This could be the way you feel about, like, government systems. Like, maybe you like to protest, or that's something that you would like to do is protest. Like, you have a certain... Yeah, my goodness. Let me take a drink of water. And it's wild because I start every reading with with a drink of water. That's how I ground myself. Let me grab a mint. See if sometimes that helps. But I feel like that's the thing. Like, maybe it's like some sort of system you're speaking out against and you're afraid. Like, there's a fear here about that. You see something that other people have yet to see, or that other people are yet to talk about, and you're... Like, I feel like you want to share this, pile 3. Like, you really want to share this about the system, but there's this energy of, like, a fear of, like, being disappeared or something like that. You know, like, if I share this, then what are they going to do to me? But I know that that can be scary. At the same time, there's a reason you were brought here with this voice that you've been given, with this idea, with this belief. And we're in a time now where there are more people who are speaking their truth. There are more people who are speaking out against certain things. And I feel like if you're only focused on the fear part of it, you're not looking at the beauty and the blessing of being able to connect with a community and a tribe that also thinks the way that you do. And maybe that's exactly what some people are looking for, is this ability to connect with someone who sees the world the way that you do, or who sees these systems the way that you do. And they're just waiting and hoping and praying. And it's not just up to you to speak out. It's not. But I feel like there's something here where they're really, especially for me to start with coughing, like, it's really holding you back. It's really dimming your light, not being able to put it out there. Like, it's almost as if you've recognized the discrepancies in a system or in a society or in a construct, a business or something along those lines. This could be even like for a company that you work for, you're being afraid to go to HR about something because it seems like this person or these people just get away with whatever the heck they want and nobody calls them out on it. And maybe that's just it. Sometimes we need an advocate. I don't remember the name of the movie, but it was about the director of Fox and how he hired women for the show, for different newscastings and stuff like that. And he did this thing with all the women, like he expected them to basically submit to him because he didn't believe that women owned a right in the workplace unless they gave up a part of themselves, their body. And I wish I could remember the name of the movie. I watched it not that long ago, but that's what they're showing me here. It's like, you know, there's sexual harassment no matter how you look at it, right? Like, he was sexually harassing the women that were coming in, and they were completely embarrassed, and nobody shared anything about what they were going through, or everybody was just like, well, that's just how he is, right? They were just basically ignoring it because he was powerful, or he had this powerful position. And even when the one lady finally spoke out because she went to a different company, she finally spoke out against it. Like, everybody's like, you know, you're going to lose because he's so powerful. He can get these lawyers and so on and so forth. But when she spoke out, finally other people started coming forward. And then the one thing that happened was his most trusted, the woman that he trusted the most, finally came out and spoke on what actually had happened to her as well. And that's when it sealed his deal, and finally, like, gave everybody that had experienced that with him a reason to come forward, and they finally took care of it. And I wish I could remember the movie. It's based on a true story, but anyways, it was just kind of wild, this energy where it feels like you have some kind of information that could help free others from an oppressive system or a very controlling system. Or there's something that you're afraid to speak about because of it, or like you're afraid to shed the light on it because you're afraid that somebody somewhere is going to try to control you or try to make it, like, that's what I'm saying, like, if it's governmental, like, trying to disappear you. You know, there's this guy, and I wish I could remember his name on YouTube. There's this guy on YouTube, but he talks about some, like, really crazy stuff. And not crazy in the sense of, like, crazy, but, like, crazy, like, whoa, we finally have somebody that's talking about it. But he wears this mask that's a gray mask with diamonds all over it. Like, just gray cut diamond into the mask itself. So he never shows his identity. And he talks about these things. And so he's got a huge following, but I wish I could remember his name. I don't remember his name right now, but he doesn't share his identity. And so, you know, sometimes we just need that. Maybe you don't need to share your identity. It's okay for you to, you know, do something like that. But I feel like there's something here that you need to talk about with others and share with others your truth so that you can free yourself from something that has been maybe a huge burden to carry alone, or seemingly alone, right? Like I don't feel like you're the only person that's carrying this heavy burden, but it might very well seem like you're alone with this. Okay. So you could do like an anonymous share or something along those lines, and that might be helping you to just reconnect with that part of yourself so that you feel more encouraged and more bold. Urgent answers from your spirit guides. Yeah, there's a need to see this through fresh eyes. Maybe every time that you've tried to share before, like, people have cut you off or people have chosen not to believe you. And I feel like you're no longer surrounded by people who don't believe you. You're surrounded by people who do see your value and worth, and they appreciate when you share these difficult stories or these difficult situations or these difficult things that you've gone through. Yeah, look at that, the Ace of Swords flipping out. It has another card, but it was like this when it flipped out. And so, yeah, so this is like a truth that's coming through, something that it's like connecting people in this very unique way, and you're the only one who can share it. And then we have the Son of Cups, which is the page, no, that's the Knight of Cups. Yeah, the Knight of Cups. Yeah, so there's a really deep truth here that you need to share, but I feel like there's something that's holding you back. There's just something that's keeping you like, oh no, I can't share that right now. Bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Swords. Pure pressure. Fear of sticking out like a sore thumb, right? The nail that sticks out gets hammered. That's the energy that's coming in. There's also a very innocent energy with this as well. It's like, I need to share this because I need to get it off my chest. Like, I need to share this idea, this thought process, this universal concept that's coming to me. But also then the ego meets you with this resistance. Like, well, remember when we tried to share when we were kids and everybody laughed at us, or everybody told us we were crazy, or everybody told us that we didn't know what we were talking about, and you're like watching it unfold in front of you now. There's no denying it. But there's still people who are very arrogant and very disconnected from the world, and so they don't want to believe you. And so maybe you're sharing it with people who just aren't the right people. Not now, but before you were just sharing it with the people who weren't the right people. But there's a need for you to speak this truth. And that's what they're saying. Start small. You don't have to jump in. Yeah, the devil. So this could be at work with the devil, but this could also be that you've been surrounded by a lot of people who oppressed you and made you feel small about this concept or this idea or this belief or whatever it is. There's something very powerful here. And it was because it made them question their own values. And that was really difficult for them to do. But now it's about you breaking free from something that just doesn't work for you any longer. Yeah, on the Wheel of Fortune. Very powerful energy here. You have something unique that is filled with love and truth. And not everybody is going to receive the love and the truth of it. But if you don't share it, how can you ever connect with the people you're meant to connect with? Like, look at this. Very, this feels like a roughly built dream catcher to me, right? Very loosely built. And it's just like, we never know who we're going to connect with when we share parts of ourselves that are very vulnerable. But also that's where fortune comes from, is from unique places. Fortune favors the brave. And so there's a lot of luck when you share this part of yourself. And I feel like not only is there luck, but there's the opportunities for you to adapt to the situations around you in real time. So just say it's like a universal concept. Okay, this is just the example they're giving me. It's like you have a universal concept and you're seeing it and you're trying to share this, and it's like you're finally getting it off your chest and sharing it with people. Then something happens in real time and you're able to give it to them in real time. Like, oh, okay, so this is the concept playing out right here. Do you see how this is working? And everyone's like, oh, it's like a light bulb moment. Like, things become clear for them. But if you never share that, you'll always be brought down by these devil energies. And again, it's not... Like, it's hard. This is a hard energy for me, because a lot of people are like, oh, it's the devil at work. And that's fine. I personally don't believe in the devil. I believe that people are made through devilish acts. Not necessarily an evil spirit that's a control of everything, but an egregore of an idea that has kind of taken over. And that egregore continues to grow and it continues to influence people in various ways. I think it was Napoleon Hill that said, a man who's not born of evil deeds and who ends up turning to evil deeds as a means of survival, at first he abhors it, then he accepts it, then he becomes influenced by it, right? So that's the type of energy here. It's like the people who are doing this to you, maybe at some point they thought in a very free way like you did. But now they don't feel like they have free thinking anymore. And so they were really trying to make you feel like you didn't have free thought either, or that you shouldn't have free thought. Join the masses with the Judgment card here. This really feels like join the masses. But you're the only one that's a different color than they are, right? You're this pure white dove that's raising above all this chaos, this darkness, the shadow. I feel like part of that's from embracing the shadow first, right? And again, I'm not here telling you have to believe in what I believe in. I'm just trying to share what I see through my eyes and what source is showing me as the concept. It's like the people who are attacking you are people who are influenced by this negative energy that has become who they are. And they were made that way, right? Like they were created after being born. It's not, I was born this way. It's just that this is where life has taken me, is to project out onto others. And that's what's going on. And so there's like this feeling of trying to stamp you under their foot, to grind you into sand. But you share And they're also wondering, like, finally someone's given rise to this feeling that I had, but now I need to stamp this out because it doesn't belong in this world. But that's not true at all. It does belong in this world. It's here for a reason with the Ace of Swords. And it doesn't have to be an idea or a concept. It could be anything. It's your truth, right? When we say your truth, it's what feels right and honest and good for you. It's not about what feels right and honest and good for me. It's not about what feels right, honest, and good for someone else. It's what's right and honest and good for you. And that is going to vary from person to person. And what's right and honest and good for you does not have, again, it might not be right, good, and honest for another person. Right? And so you just have to realize that it's not about being that for another person. It's about choosing yourself and choosing your self-expression in this moment. But there's something here where you're hiding from, but you have a gift with the Knight of Cups. You have a gift to offer the world that's full of truth and love. And maybe it's just to help widen a perspective. Right? It doesn't have to be something that changes the world. It's to help widen a perspective, to bring a sense of compassion to the world again. Right? So another example here is like that, like, right, we're not born that way, we're made that way, is like that, like narcissists, right? And I've shared this before, but again, it's just an example. It's what they're showing me to share as an example. It could be a concept like this. Is like a lot of people are trying to say that narcissists are demons or devils incarnate. But the truth is that a narcissist is an empath who chose to feed the shadow instead of the light. They were made. They weren't created. They weren't born that way. They were made after having dealt with life and being in harsh situations. But it's easy to wipe ourselves of unconditional love when we just say, oh, that's a devil incarnate. We'll never get through to them. But that's not true either, because Dr. Lewis, the man who worked for a psychiatric ward in Hawaii, and it was a psychiatric ward. It was also a prison where some of the world's wildest criminals were held. And, right, like they were just this psychiatric ward that no one wanted to work in. The energy was really bad. And he never met any of the patients face to face. But when he started working there, he started practicing the Ho'oponopono prayer with them. And it wasn't face to face with them. It was literally his perception of them. He would get their picture. He would never read their files so that he would have a preconceived notion of who they were. He would get their picture out of their file and he would start practicing Ho'oponopono with their picture. And eventually the psychiatric world, in that ward, it changed. The energy changed. Everything started to change because he was sending healing energy out. So if we're saying, oh, people are, like they're the devil incarnate, again with the devil, just the example that they're showing here, we're not ever giving them that opportunity to heal. We're basically sealing their fate for them, right? Talk about words can give us life. They can also give us death. But we have to choose how to be careful about what we say to others, because we can be also somebody who is feeding that, whether we want to or not, right? And so I feel like with you, it's something along those lines where you're helping people see from a different perspective, a much more clear perspective, a much more unconditionally love perspective, which is not quite how the world functions just yet, but we are shifting, right? We're seeing more and more people come in this unconditional light, but there's something here that's a gift from source, a gift through you, that's very fortunate because the world needs it, but everybody's stuck in this, oh, I have to be what everyone expects me to be. And I feel like at times your innocence is in that as well. Like, oh, I can't go against the grain because I'm too different. But source is telling you that it's okay to stand out. Like, and your guides want you to stand out. Like, I feel like they've been giving you signs. Wow, my right foot just felt like a knife went through the bottom of my right foot. I'm sorry, it was my left foot. My right, my left, this side left. You ever hold your hands up? Okay, which one's the L? It was my left foot. It was in the arch. And so it's interesting because it's also trusting the journey, right? Like it was very quick, it was very sharp. And now it's gone. It's over with. But it's like trusting the journey, trusting the path, right? Our feet carry us on the journey. And so there's something here where it's like, I can't trust the journey, but they're saying to trust the journey. And part of that's like, I can't trust that I'm going to receive what I need for the journey, right? The left side is how we receive the world, how we receive what we need from the world, and how we receive what we need from the spiritual realm. And Source is saying like, wow, that is something that is scary. Having faith and trust that you've been given this for a purpose, and letting that be your guide and the light and the energy that you pour into yourself from there. It's a very clear message. But you're very tapped in, and I feel like sometimes you question whether or not you're tapped in. People have made you question your intuition, and again, it's not to focus on them. That's not why we're bringing it up, but we are trying to tap into that, knowing that yes, there have been people along the way that have made you question your self-worth and your intuition, and it's been hard for you to trust yourself. And we see it's because of pressure from society, right? With the Four of Swords, this is a pressure from outside world trying to make you conform, while also not accepting the innocence that you've brought with you. You're the only one who can accept that. We've got the 10th house coming out here with structure, discipline, life mission, accomplishments, and career. So this is a part of your life mission, a part of your purpose, to be heard, to be seen. But it's all, wow, it's also your Chiron. It's also one of your deepest hurts. And healing that has been really challenging. You could have Chiron in Gemini in the 6th house. You could have Chiron in Gemini in the 3rd house as well. Wow, that's coming in. Okay, you could have Chiron in Gemini in the 9th house as well. Those are really specific. I know they're not going to resonate with everyone, but those are what's coming in right now. So this is something that's really, really painful for you. This is something that's like, time and time again, you were betrayed in this area. Time and time again, it was used as a weapon against you. Time and time again, it was something that was used to create a lot of tension and discourse in your life, right? And that's sometimes the hardest thing for us to heal from, are situations like that. But healing from it will help you speak out to others. Okay, so maybe this is about supporting women. Like you're a divine feminine on here, and it's about supporting other divine feminines. It doesn't have to be. But this is also, right, women supporting women. Together we can transcend our individual limitations. This is also remembering to lean on the people who are closest to you, that you trust and love. Not the people who don't believe in you, right? Like the people who you trust and love, and who can lift you up, and who see the value of what you have to offer. Sometimes they're the ones that help us get through in the darkest hour, and help us let go of the people who've been trying to oppress us. For whatever reason, right? We don't have to look into why people oppress us, just knowing it's a part of this journey, it's a part of this world, and it's unfortunate that that is a part of this world. But also women supporting women. This could be men supporting men as well. This could be women supporting a man supporting, or men supporting a woman. This could be any kind of community coming together, just like a support group, people you lean on, people you trust, right? Bottom of the deck, we have the unknown. Knowing the unknown. Exactly. I need to keep this out. Yeah, they're saying keep this out. Because that's exactly what this feels like. You have some knowledge, some gift, and that you're bringing that to the world, and it's necessary in this time on the world, because they need to hear it. They need to hear this truth that you have. Got chia seeds everywhere. So random. It's a bag open the other day, and I couldn't get it closed. The zipper wouldn't close, and so chia seeds spilled out. So they keep showing up, just so random. I thought I had gotten them all cleaned up. I used the vacuum, I brushed the table, I did all that stuff, but no, just they keep showing up in random places. So and chia seeds, right? Like I always think about that chia. Remember chia pets, right? Like it's something you have to nurture and care for. But it was weird. It was a weird thing, but they were popular. Right? They're super popular. I think they're even still popular. Like you see them at the store every once in a while. I'm like, oh my gosh, chia pets are still a thing. They came and they were like kind of like the pet rock, right? Like it was just a weird thing that came out, but it took the world by storm. And I feel like that's the thing. It's like, yeah, maybe the ideas that you have are weird, but I feel like they're going to take the world by storm. So embrace the weirdness of it. That's what makes it weird, is it's just not what anybody's known before, right? Or maybe we've all known it, but no one's known how to speak it into existence or speak it in a way that we all could understand it. And you do. Yeah, North Node, step out of your comfort zone. Yeah, it's time. It's time to step into your path of purpose here. Speak how you speak. Share what you know. Don't let these oppressive energies hold you back any longer. Yeah, envy. Okay, here we go. I'm the same as everyone else, but with different challenges. And that's that energy I was talking about. Like, right, narcissists are made. They're not born. But even so, if you had people who were jealous of you, who were envious of you, and who took it out on you, remember, they're on their own path, and that you don't have to focus on them anymore. Let them live their life the way they're going to live and let live, right? Like, sometimes we just have to live and let live. And even though it's hard, especially if people have hurt us along the way, but it's powerful for us to remind ourselves that we don't have to continue to stay in their wild, crazy energy anymore. We can choose ourselves, right? Guilt. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. So these same people who envied you, they could have made you feel guilty for being the way that you are. Right? Again, this peer pressure, we see that coming out even with these cards. They're showing it was other people who impressed their beliefs onto you and made you feel like you didn't have a right to share this. Right? That could be like even as a kid. Maybe you had psychic gifts as a kid. Like you knew things were going to happen before they happened. And you would say, oh, I think that this is going to happen. Or maybe you're a psychic medium and someone passed away in the family and you told your parents, you're like, hey, Grandpa Lou came and visited me and told me to tell you guys this. And it like really freaked him out because it was spot on something that he would say or something that only the family knew that he said. And they may have been like, no, you can't say stuff like that anymore, right? As a kid, like you're going to choose, and we've talked about this before, as a kid, you choose attachment over authenticity every time. And so if you were made to feel small because of your gift, you were going to naturally shut that away, right? Instead of embracing it because it wasn't being nurtured by your caretakers. It was being judged by your caretakers. And so that's something to look at here. And so whatever it is, like knowing the unknown, right? So again, whatever this was, you knew something, you've known something for a long time. And there's a lot of people around you who didn't want you to share this because it made them question their own foundation, their own existence. But that's not your business. That's their business. And yes, maybe they projected that on you and you never deserved that at all. But remembering that it's okay for you to let that go, which is a lot easier said than done sometimes. Yeah, look at this. Ancestors with polar bears. So again, it could be family coming in here with ancestors. But also I feel like there's like this cold energy here. Somebody's like freezing you out or they've given you the silent treatment. This could be something that's happened for generations in your family line. So this is a way of thinking that has been passed down either. This could be through the mother's line, the bloodline, since we have women supporting women here, but it could also be the father's bloodline. Okay, but it feels like it's been passed down. And so you're not the only one that feels this way. It's just that everybody else has been fighting against it for so long because it was never accepted by outsiders. And so now you're coming into a world where you're going to be accepted by outsiders because there are people who feel the same way, who want it, who need to be shown that the way, the light, right? And you're the one that's going to show them the way and the light because you're tapped in this very unique way. Wow, I got tired all of a sudden. Just like all the energy I had just whoosh right out of me. So I do feel like there's a bit of an exhaustion here where it's like you're fighting yourself. And your spirit guides are just saying, like, stop fighting yourself. And stop trying to fight. Like, I feel like the other thing is like fighting to fit in. Like, there's no reason for you to fight to fit in any longer. Fitting in has never served you. So be your weird, wacky, odd self. Because that's at least when you feel the most like yourself, right? Yeah, overworked, out of balance. That makes sense. That's all my energy just went away. Whoosh, I just feel like that all of a sudden. Like, oh, I've been here too long. I mean, it's a long reading, but I do these all the time, so it's not a big deal. But that's the thing. It's like all of a sudden I just felt like, whoa, I have no energy. So I feel like you're overworked and this doesn't necessarily have to be like your day job or anything like that. This could be you're overworked in the sense of like you're overworked trying to hide yourself from everybody. Like worried about who's going to betray you, worried about who's going to lash out against you, worried about who's going to project onto you, worried about who's going to belittle you and all these things. And realizing that your protection of self is self-acceptance, like radical self-acceptance, and believing in yourself. That is the most powerful thing that you can do, right? So trusting that. All right, let's see what else comes through here for you. Yeah, Pisces, look, I cannot. Pisces, trust your intuition, tune into your intuition. Yeah, so this definitely does have to do with some sort of connection that you have with the divine. So again, it could be a gift, a specific gift. It could also be a way of channeling. It could be that you're supposed to channel things different than other people are channeling, and that's okay. Right? Like we've come into the day and age where channeling's a thing. I mean, look at tarot. It's online, it's famous, it trends, it does all these things, but you know, maybe it's one of those things like you have a message that's different. Like even prophecy is huge online as well, right? Like people follow people who they believe to be prophets and stuff, and that's fine. Like I'm not saying they're not. I think that everybody has the gift of intuition and we all have an opportunity to tap into it. And it's a muscle we can continue to build. But I feel like the thing is here is that, you know, whatever happened with your ancestors, like we're in a day and age where things are far more accepted than they once were. And so letting go of your fear and then trusting and tuning into your intuition is going to lead the way here, you know? Yeah, stellium, stop obsessing. So there's been some challenges here. You could have a stellium in Pisces. You'd have stellium in Gemini. You could have a stellium, third house stellium, or a sixth house stellium is coming in as well. Yeah. But I just feel like this has just been really hard. It's like, I need to be here, or I need to be there. I'm not here. Why am I not here? And it's so much easier said than done. I can appreciate that, pile 3, for sure. But remembering that your spirit guides, they want you to remember that you're exactly where you need to be. And so choose yourself and choose your authenticity in this time. Because you've spent a whole lifetime trying to choose what wasn't authentic to you, and it just never worked. Like you never belonged, you didn't fit in, and it wasn't because you didn't. It was because it felt that way, because everybody was trying to make you be inauthentic to yourself. Your hard work is paying off. Yeah, a new moon in Capricorn, so good things are coming. Like you're going to see progress, you're going to see success in whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. Oh, my ear is going wild right now. Ooh, and it's my left ear. Yeah, and now my nose. Oh my gosh. Okay, guys. Calm down with the body things. All right, it's all on the left side right now. All on the left side. So how you're receiving, and I feel like there's a fear of receiving, not a fear of taking action, but a fear of receiving from this. Yeah, ritual. Continue your rituals. Or if you've, for some reason, stepped away from your rituals at this time, this is the green light to go back to your rituals. Okay? This is how things are going to start to balance out for you. And then we have passions and interests. Yeah, hobbies, sports, and favorite pastimes. And having fun. Enjoying yourself, right? Like, and letting yourself enjoy the process of this again. My dog just sat down and hit the table and all the cards went shoo. So yeah, letting yourself find stability and foundation in enjoying life again and enjoying the small things again instead of worrying about everybody around you. And it's okay. Like again, pile 3, like I'm not here saying, you shouldn't worry about them. Like, how dare you focus on them? Like, sometimes we just do. Sometimes we get so focused on the people around us because we're in their vicinity all the time. Like, oh my gosh, we're hearing all the things that they think or they feel all the time. And it's like weighing on us, right? And I feel like this is just a prime opportunity for you to just disconnect from that and refocus on the things that matter to you, and really take that seriously at this time. But trusting your intuition, I feel like trusting that your intuition is going to also lead you to the things that are going to set you free in this time. So, all right, let's take a look at your card. I'm going to read this from the book. And I just said on pile 2, like I should have said this on pile 1 too, where okay, so much going on all of a sudden, where these are kind of wild, these cards are, but they're really deep. They tap into some really deep ideas. And so hang with me, keep an open heart. But also I want to mention, if you watched all 3 piles with me, leave a purple heart down below. That makes you a part of my Purple Heart Club. And if not, if you're here for pile 3, thank you for being here with me throughout this reading. So let's take a look at this and see what it is. The Lover. It's so crazy. When I was shuffling for your cards, this card kept popping up during the shuffle. Like every time I split the deck, it was there when I split the deck, which is wild that it came out. So the Lover. Love what you do and do what you love. That's what I heard right now. All right, let's see what the Lover says. The Shadow, the Lover. Okay, it says, he sits among the most ancient divinities, brother of time, twin of eternity, master of virtue, who ascends industriously towards Olympus and of fortune, two-faced goddess, unstable guardian of all wealth, and the lover Eros. Old man and child in one, naive and expert in things of the visible and the invisible worlds. Yeah, this makes total sense. He binds and he loosens, leaves and attracts. Reason, which governs the bright and clear things and the surest paths, is his enemy and companion at the same time. Oracle of the mortal who asks for himself and his pleasure, he points to the goal that calls him, because every creature that inhabits the earth is what he loves. Loving above all else is what he is. The lover Eros unites those who sit on opposite sides of the tables, those whom the gods and mortals want far apart, light and shadow, spirit ascending towards the celestial ether, and matter descending heavy and taking shape, precipitating, winning in the competition in the slow and inexorable judgment. The lover without conditions and without blackmail understands and forgives, accompanies shadows, unstable and without form in the clear symmetrical tower of psyche. And the message is, love without conditions unites light and shadow. So unconditional love here is the message. So coming into that place of remembering that while you've been through difficult times in your life, stepping into an energy of unconditional love can help you relinquish the hold that those situations have had in your life and allow you to step up into a more empowered state in this here moment. And also I feel like because you chose the black obsidian, like there's this energy with reminding yourself that you are protected, even if it doesn't feel like it. You are protected and you're the one that has the power. So keeping up that energy and remembering that, you know, listen to your body always, right? If you need to rest, rest. If you need to take a break, take a break. But like your body is always going to be your best guide. And to trust your intuition right now and to let love lead you instead of fear. That's the main thing. You've been hurt and they want to honor that. They also want you to just look away from that hurt for now and focus on the things that you truly love and let that be your guide, which can be easier said than done, but one step at a time. We're not asking you to crash in Olympic status. We're asking you to take one small step at a time, right? Have you ever heard of habit stacking? Like that could be a thing, right? Like if you're doing one thing, like I do the deep squat at night, the Asian squat, and I've been practicing it for a long time just to keep up my mobility and all that stuff, and it helps so much with my lower back. But it's like when I'm doing my deep squat, then I also do my gratitude while I'm in my deep squat so that I'm not thinking about my deep squat and I'm more present with the gratitude anyways. And so that's like habit stacking, right? So like drinking a cup of coffee and reading a self-help book, that could be habit stacking. So, you know, like things like that can help you get back into this state of your ritual one step at a time, right? Just one step at a time. Nobody's asking you to crash in and be 100% first off the bat, okay? You're doing a great job, pile 3. Keep it up and let yourself shine, because we do need your wisdom and light, all right? So this is what I see here for you today. If you felt like this was your reading, leave the little double hearts emoji down below and say, by trusting and tuning into my intuition, I'm able to let my light shine in a state of unconditional love upon this here now moment. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. So I'd like to take a moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this powerful message today. And until next time, pile number 3, stay human. Bye.